Okay, fellow South Africans, let's go to the Madanga Commission of Inquiry where we have Sergeant Pakula as a witness. And goodness gracious me, wow. I have never been so going on an emotional roller coaster with this witness. This witness, I am not sure if he is good with manipulation or he's just telling the truth. I don't know where I am with him. I'm trying my level best to analyze his testimony, but let me tell you something. I got caught believing him like 100%. And the reason why I was believing him in the beginning, because his statement was giving a scenario that I could actually see in my head. And this is the scenario I was seeing in my head. So there is a drug bust in the East Rand, and it's busted by a Mr. Mashaba, who is a traffic cop. And then Mr. Mashaba calls Mr. Mohane, who is an office-bound police officer. He's just pushing paper. He doesn't go out there on the streets with a gun and chasing after criminals. Even though as a police officer, now and again, he might find himself in action with the thieves and cops. And then from there, somebody sees a possible hijacking of something, calls 10111, Poison Police Station, dispatches police officers. Amongst those police officers so happens to be Mr. Pakula, and of course a slew of other police officers coming from Poison. But before these people arrive, Mr. Pakula was already in the crime scene together with Mashaba and Mohane, and the suspected drugs already in the back of the bakkie. 20 black plastic bags altogether, weighing 715 kilograms, worth 300 million rand. Okay, all these things that I'm saying, guys, are allegations. So I'm just trying to make sense, I'm trying to make sense of who to believe here. And so Mohane is already ready to leave the scene with the 23 bags of suspected drugs. But it gets blocked because the Poison police dispatching had already arrived and they suspected something is going on. And then it gets a little bit more interesting when generals, one of the general is the Hawks head in Gauteng, Mr. Ibrahim Katwa. And then the head or the crimes intelligence head, Mr. What's his name again? Come on. Mr. Khan, General Khan. He comes to the scene. For what reason? For what good reason? Okay, I may understand with Kadwa. Kadwa may understand, but he does not get involved. All he does is sits in the background and lets the police, together with the Hawks, I suppose, but the police would have been, of course, the first responders, and they would cordon off the crime scene. They would also make arrests of suspects, which Pakula says they did. They did arrest the suspects, but they did not cordon off fully this particular crime scene. And then it gets a little complicated because Mr. Mohane says that the owner of the crime scene or the crime manager was Mr. Mashaba. Even though Mr. Mashaba is not a South African police officer, he does not have jurisdiction to own a crime scene or manage a crime scene. That's supposed to be done by the South African Police Service, and therefore he ought to have given that crime scene to an SAPS. And this is when Mr. Pakula comes in his testimony today, that he was the crime scene manager because it was transferred from him, to him by Mohane. So there's already a little bit of contradictions going on in Mr. Pakula's testimony. And I was like, okay, for the first time, we are having a police officer that is telling the truth. In his statement, of course, he was painting a beautiful picture about himself and also throwing some few other accusations at Kadwa and Khan and all the other people that made arrests. So now, question is why Khan was there, why Kadwa was there, what did they hear, and what did they know? In my mind, I'm asking those questions. And who called Kadwa and Khan to that scene at that warehouse? That's what I'm asking. And then the other thing that I'm asking myself, okay, everybody now is there in the crime scene. And then Pakula makes arrest of 5 people. That is the driver and 4 other people for suspecting them of dealing in drugs and also in possession of drugs and also smuggling drugs or something of that nature to from Durban to Johannesburg. Now, now the question I'm asking myself, why would an office-bound officer will leave pushing paper and run to a crime scene, and then when he gets to the crime scene, meets up with a traffic officer who stopped this particular consignment, and then Mr. Mukhane calls Pakula to the scene, and next thing they are putting these 23 bags of suspected drugs in the back of a black bakkie owned by the police, South African Police Service. Where they were going to with these bags? What was the whole purpose of taking these bags? Then they get intercepted by now Khan Kadwa and his own people and the Boysen police station. There are people that are arrested for the crime scene. Then comes Khan and these other ones and say, the people that needs to be arrested for defeating the ends of justice is Pakula, Mukhane, what is his name, Mashaba, and other police officers. I think all in all there were 7 of them. They actually get charged. They get arrested and charged, and they go through the legal process. They go through the legal process, y'all. They go to court, and then subsequently the matter. I don't know if it's still pending, thrown out. I didn't hear that part. I'm busy working and I'm listening at the same time. So I'm like, wait a minute, what? This is a mess. The mess was created by both sides, and I will explain why the mess was created by both sides. So, okay, they get arrested for defeating the ends of justice, dealing in drugs, corruption, fraud. I think those are the charges that were bestowed on them. And this matter does go to court. And then subsequently, Mr. Pakula, Mohane, and them, they get suspended. Pakula does get fired after a disciplinary commission found him guilty for those 5 charges, and he was dismissed. He appealed, and then the appeal reinstated him with full benefit and conditions of his original employment, and even becomes eligible for promotion, of which both these promotions he would not get it because somebody at the top, and I'm thinking Khan, I don't know. Like I said, guys, all of these are allegations. Maybe Khan was like, we're not promoting that one. He is involved in this. Khan himself gets himself into problems where he himself also gets suspended and disciplined, and the chairperson of the disciplinary commission is Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, and they found him not to have anything to answer, no case to answer, and that was dismissed. Okay, cool. Here's my second scenario. When the consignment arrived in the East Rand, it was already expected. It was expected, I think, by Khan, Kadwa, and his team. But when they got to the crime scene and the consignment is already packed up, they thought, excuse me, did you actually get other police officers to bring the consignment to you? And the owner of the consignment is like, no, you're the one who's supposed to bring it to me. And then he says, this mother, boom, I'm going to deal with him. And then he arrests Pakula and them. Why? Because maybe Pakula and them, they were trying to do a DJ somebody, there's a possibility that Pakula, Mashaba, Mukhane were trying to pull a DJ somebody on Khan, Kadwa, and the rest. But thankfully, they did not unalive them because they are all police officers. What they do, they arrest them on corruption, fraud, defeating the ends of justice, dealing in drugs, and smuggling drugs. That's the charges that they hit them with. But now here's the question. After Pakula, Mukhane, and Mashaba were arrested and taken away, then what happened to those drugs? What happened to them? Where are they today? Are they accounted for? So this is my assumption. Maybe Mr. Khan was like, yo, boss, we finally got control of the consignment. It shall be sent to you. The boss was like, good boy, very good boy. And you are going to be driving some nice, beautiful Italian cars. Which car do you like? Oh, I love a Porsche and I also love a Ferrari. That is why Ntatam Kwanas is like, we have the most richest general in the South African Police Service, while being sarcastic towards General Khan. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? These two groups, they were stealing. This other one, I think they already had a market, or Pakula and Mukhane and Mashaba. I think they already had a market, or somebody that was going to buy it for, I don't know how much, because they're worth 300 million. Probably they would have sold it for, I don't know, they would have negotiated it down probably to 100 million rand. I mean, that will set them for life, I suppose. That is why you had an informant there. That informant was sent by the owner of those consignments. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'm very interested. What are your thoughts? So now it's cross-examination of Mr. Pakula, and he is lying through his teeth, and he admits that he's lying. So that's perjury, isn't it? He has already told plus or minus 5 or 6 lies, and he admits that he was lying. What are you doing? What are you doing? Of course, the Madlanga Commission is not feeling respected by this witness, even though he sounds so sincere. You know, you can get dribbled by this witness. He could dribble you with his words, I'm telling you. He's eloquent. He speaks logically. Maybe he just has a silver tongue. He knows that he messed up. He did not follow the protocols of a crime scene, especially of this magnitude. He says that he does not have an experience in handling a crime scene such as this one with 715 kilograms of white powder. But he has been in a bust of about 5 kilograms. And I'm thinking, but then why were you there then? That is why he is stuck in responding exactly what on earth he was doing there. Mina, if you ask me, Mukhane as well as Pakula, bapapile. They speed deal, they were like this. But now, what is the purpose of them being there? Who was the buyer? Clearly, the buyer knew that there's a consignment of this magnitude coming from Brazil. And then there was already an owner of this consignment. So, guys, the South African Police Service is a crime scene. The South African Police Service is definitely a crime scene. You know, there's this fly. I'm going to get it, I'm telling you. Because why? It's winter. Yeah, as I was saying, this whole thing is smells of two forces, and these forces, they used the power they have against each other. Of course, the weaker side was Mashaba, Pakula, and Mukhane. Why nidlala ngemsebenzi? Now that I'm holding doom in my hand, the fly is no longer bothering me. Eh. So that is what is happening. That is my my suspicion. That is my. But we're still gonna listen some more to the testimony because they're not done with him and his cross examination. The man just must just say, guys, bring the zip, whatever you call it. Just bring the handcuffs. I'll put them on myself. He's doing exactly what Mukhane was doing yesterday. He was asking for it. He was asking to be arrested because his testimony, unfortunately, it did not make too much sense. You are office bound. What were you doing in the crime scene? You have no experience of crime scenes. You don't do the right things because we also found out that when you are a first responder, your first job is to cordon off the crime scene. And if there are suspects there, you arrest them. And they're suspects. You're not saying that they are actually. And the other thing, which is a very good question that was asked, how did you know those were drugs? Particularly the C word. He says, this is Pakula, he says he could smell it. And then Mr. No, Commissioner Komalo says, "Oh, does it have a smell?" He says, "Yeah, it does have a smell." How chiggy chiggy. He didn't know that that was the smell of the C word, the white powder. And then he gets told that you are lying. He says, "Yeah, yeah, I'm lying." Perjury, sir. You are a seasoned police officer whom probably has taken the stand in court to testify about your crime scenes that you've been to in, and he's not even a detective. This Mr. Pakula guy. You guys, I mean, I don't know. It's becoming, not it's becoming, it's clear that the South African police service is a mess. And as we've said a long time ago on this channel, that do a complete overhaul of the South African police service. Complete, and I think that's what the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry report is going to say. It's going to recommend a complete overhaul of the South African police service because they're playing games. They are playing games. Even Mukhane yesterday, I got so angry with him where he said sometimes his job is to go and do research about crimes that are prevailing in a certain community. And I'm like, if that's what you're doing, then why there's crime? Why there's crime? And then you have intelligence busy. Yo, you see the intelligence part one, it makes me so angry, guys. It makes me angry because it's a question I've been asking for the longest of times. Where are the intelligence? There are crimes that should be intercepted by intelligence. Puppies. Busy driving Porsche, Mercedes Benz, and all these expensive German, Italian, and French cars. And flashing that all on our faces. Yet the South African community or society is being terrorized. Terrorized with crimes that we shouldn't be terrorized with. That makes me angry. That makes me very, very angry. So I don't know. Those are my suspicions. They are both criminals. This both group, the Khan and Pakula, criminals in my opinion. And yeah, allegations. All of this is allegations. So both these groups for me, they were going for the same consignment. The other ones were going to steal it and sell it to a buyer. And the other ones were expecting it. But when they got there, they found people that wanted to steal it. They used the South African police force, police service privileges to arrest this one so that the consignment go to the original owner of these drugs. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Who got arrested by Khan's group? Who got arrested by Khan's group? Where are those 715 kilogram white powder consignment? So do you see that there's a possibility here? So none of them are innocent. Pakula and his group, not innocent. Khan's group, not innocent either. My analogy on this is still a draft in my head, but I know once I'm seated and I start thinking about this, I will refine it and I will tell you exactly what I think happened here. I will tell you, hey guys, yakanudlala ngemsebenzi. Stop playing with your jobs, guys. Stop. You know, people still continue to play with their jobs to this very day. In home affairs. With everything that's going on, the home affairs guys, banenkani. They are stubborn. I don't know what kind of human beings these are. They are stubborn. And I know why they are stubborn. It's the South African mentality. It will not happen to me. I'm talking getting caught. It will not happen to me. I don't know when we are going to get rid of that mentality. Guys, it is especially as black people, because that's the black thing. It's not going to happen to me. It only happens, it's for the bari's. I don't know what is bari in English. It's a slang, though. Some, like a dummy or something like that. It only happens to dummies. We need to quit that mentality, because many people that are 6 feet under and those that are in jail is because of that mentality. It will not happen to me. Those that do not wear a condom, it will not happen to me. You are not invincible. What is done in darkness comes out in the light. Can't you? What were we being taught growing up, guys? What were we being taught? I do you, boo. Anyways, please, I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about these scenarios? Because one of them is a possibility, or both are a possibility, or something totally different. Yeah. Anyways, before I go, guys, I got surprised. I don't wanna lie. Usually my videos are pre-recorded and then I schedule them for 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I continue doing work during the day. So around 9 a.m., I take like a break, almost like tea time for me. And then I go through your comments. When I opened it, I was like, whoa, so many comments. I couldn't get through many of them, but there was a comment thread there. People correcting me about the hotel. They said, no, it's not the Johannesburg Sun Hotel. It is the Holiday Inn. You are right. It is the Holiday. It was the Holiday Inn, but it was also known as the Johannesburg Sun Hotel. I don't know if you Google it. I don't know. If you Google it, check what it's going to say. Is it going to say Holiday Inn or Johannesburg Sun Hotel? I've known it as Johannesburg Sun Hotel, in as much as it was also written Holiday Inn. I think in the 80s it had like Holiday Inn, and then somewhere in the 90s, then they had that sign, the sun, like a crescent, but upside down. I don't know, but I get you. I get you. But in my era, we known it as the Johannesburg Sun Hotel. Even when we stayed there in 1996, it was, we known it as the Johannesburg Sun Hotel. Even the indemnity form to my mom, it said we will stay at Johannesburg Sun Hotel first before we head to Jan Smuts International Airport. And then the other thing, I also saw people's memories. Yes, I remember when Whitney Houston came, we went to the Johannesburg Sun Hotel to meet her as fans and all of that, and going out of our minds. And somebody else talked about Aaliyah. I don't know, guys. These kids today, they are missing out a lot. Back in the day, we used to have like groups of dancers. We would like do street dancing, break dance, and contemporary dance, kwaito dance, and all these sort of dances. We danced with Aaliyah. Oh, we did. When she came, we danced with Aliyah, and she did. Her footsteps or footprints are on Small Street too. Oh, good memories. Oh, good memories. We did. And then in the same 1996, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, 96, Magic Johnson came to South Africa and then he went to Soweto. We played basketball with him. My brother and I played basketball with Magic Johnson. I played one on one with Magic Johnson. My brother did the same thing too. And then he said, South Africa has great potential. He said he got great potential, and they were talking business language, and they said how they are going to come here and build a South African NBA type of situation in 1996. But thanks to, what's his name again? That minister that I will never forgive, Ngonde Balfour. Short-sightedness has always been the ANC people's forte. All right. Please take care of yourselves. And yeah, Joburg is getting clean, guys. I'm loving it. Goodbye.